It's been a crazy week, but I'm so glad to be home again with the peace of mind that comes from the high-tech safety net that I now carry with me for the rest of my life.
These are the words that I used to describe in 2013 my implanted defibrillator that I just received. This comment came from a vantage point of pure optimism, one in which I didn't believe my heart would continue to degrade at a fast rate. Over the next several years, I was scanned, x-rayed, poked and prodded, and moved to and fro from hospital to hospital via ambulance. It wasn't until I took a simple stress test that I could not pass that the doctors finally concluded there was nothing they could do long-term for my heart. They immediately signed me up for cardiac rehab with the intention of keeping me as healthy as possible until they could find a suitable heart for eventual transplant. At rehab, I could safely do light exercise while being fully monitored by hospital staff. I was also assigned a heart failure doctor who would see me on a monthly basis. The doctor would do blood work and follow the decline of my heart while keeping me informed of those changes and what temporary fixes they were doing to keep me alive longer. During our monthly visits, she would check my heart and lungs. She would also check my arteries to see if I was retaining fluid in my blood system. This is a telltale sign of congestive heart failure and needs attention right away through medication. The heart failure doctor arranged for me to do an evaluation to confirm that I'm a good candidate for transplant. It was a 3-day evaluation. During the evaluation, I met with financial advisors, social workers, dietitians, and many others. They did a blood draw, and when I say blood draw, I mean blood draw. And as if that wasn't enough, they did another one a couple of days later. They also did a pulmonary test where they put me in a plexiglass box and checked my lung capacity, the rate at which I can inhale and exhale, and as well checking my body's ability to transfer oxygen from the lungs to the blood system. The tests were all done in July of 2016, and on August 5th, I received the call that I was approved and now on the transplant list. As 2016 wound down, I kept my phone on 24/7 waiting for the call, but no call came. The months of 2017 flew by with no call as I felt my heart getting weaker. The stairs began to look like mountains to me. I used wheelchairs when needed. I took naps every day, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't stay awake. Eventually, I got a CT scan of my heart. I expected it to look like this, but I was shocked to see that my heart looked more like this, riddled with scar tissue and misshapen. So why is it that someone with a heart as bad as mine and is obviously dying has to wait over a year for a transplant? To answer that question, we need to look at the numbers and why it is so important for people to be registered organ donors. Out of all donors, 4% produce viable organs for donation, depending on how they passed away. Of that 4%, only 30% produce viable hearts for transplant. Once there is a viable heart, it has to be matched with the right recipient. This is determined by age of the donor and the recipient, blood type, weight, male or female, and height. Once all of that is determined and a match is found, the heart is harvested and the clock starts ticking. Only 6 hours are available before the heart is unacceptable for transplant. Finally, after nearly 13 months, I got the call. We got our things together and rushed to the hospital. It was strange to stand outside the emergency room entrance, knowing that when I would leave that building, I would have a different heart beating in my chest. The surgeon that was going to do the procedure came and visited us while I was being prepped for surgery. He was the most easygoing, unflappable person I think I've ever met. He talked to us about the procedure and that he's done over 200 transplants through the years. He completely put me at ease. The procedure was performed on September 1st between 3:30 to 9:30 a.m. Later that day, my sister made a video. You can tell how out of it I was.
Here are all his IVs. He's got a lot of IVs in him.
5?
8, she said at least 8, yeah. And drain tubes and everything. And then he's got something that squeezes his legs. All right, say hi to everybody, David.
Hi again. Love you all.
The following day, they wanted me to go for my first walk. We just went to the end of the hall and back, toting a ton of equipment. Over time, though, I just had to push my little IV pole around, and eventually, I was completely untethered and could walk the halls freely. I even started practicing going up and down the stairs.
It's intermission time.
And now, on with the show.
All right, so here we are, ended day 4. The chest tubes are coming out.
These chest tubes, everybody, actually collect all the additional fluid that might build up around the heart.
Getting it to unwind.
This is no big deal. He's just pulling tubes out from around my heart.
Just remember.
Alright, want me to pull this
Pressure?
one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on this side.
Ooh, coming out. Oh, that looks, believe me.
Beautiful, and I'll take that.
You're all done. He's just gonna tie you up.
Do you need a picture of this?
We're doing
long it
video
was?
here. Holy cow, so which part was in his body?
So it was going in like this. You can see exactly all of this was underneath.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Look at that, like 8 inches.
Hilarious.
It is hilarious. You want to practice first? Okay, that's perfect. Okay, ready? Go ahead. Alright, you can stop. It's out. No PVCs.
That's good.
Alright, we're good. You just gotta change the dressing.
Well, that was easy. Okay, Lauren. So how much of that tube was in me?
I think it was at 60.
This was at 60, so we're right here. From here to here.
Oh my gosh.
All the way into your heart.
Led into my heart and all the way through my heart, right?
Yeah, up into the pulmonary artery.
Pretty cool.
Hanging off. All those cables.
That, of course, wasn't the last time that they would put wires into my heart. I would get a biopsy once a week. The doctor would enter my heart by following my jugular vein on the right side of my neck. To get samples of my heart to do the biopsy, he would use little tiny snips. Looks kind of scary, but it does the trick. I also learned to be careful which nurses you ask to be photographers during such procedures. A couple of the biopsies came up positive for rejection. They responded immediately with the infusion of steroids, which stopped the rejection. That kept me in the hospital for a couple extra weeks, but after 27 days, I finally walked out of my room for the last time and said goodbye to the nurses who took such good care of me during my stay. I was assigned a transplant coordinator who I meet with every couple of weeks. She monitors my blood draw results, makes adjustments to my meds, and keeps me informed of upcoming appointments. She pretty much runs my life when it comes to post-transplant, and she's as sharp as a tack. To have my life go from such desperation to so much hope for the future has been amazing. I will most likely experience rejection of the new heart, and I'm susceptible to many other diseases, but I am alive. I will continue to do my part in taking care of myself so that I can live a long, happy life with my beautiful wife and daughter. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you found it interesting and informative. If you're not a registered donor, do something about it today.